Hello friends, welcome to Geeky Rabbit. Welcome to our series on Cucumber. So in our last couple of sessions, we have seen two methods in which we can achieve data-driven testing. So to achieve data-driven testing, so as discussed, there are three methods. One method was without example keywords. That is the first one, the simple data-driven without using the example keywords. And the other method that we saw is how to achieve data-driven using the examples and the scenario outline keyword. Now, for some scenario, we need to use the third method, that is to achieve the data-driven testing using list or data tables. So let us now see how to achieve it. So mostly this scenario should be used when we need to, so suppose there is a step in which there should go something like username and login. So this is to be done once. So the login should be so if it's not a normal login test. So if it is a test to verify some other functionality other than the login, then we have to log in only once. So in such case, we can use list or data tables. So let us start. I will let you know. So we had made a feature file, a step definition file, as well as a test runner file. So earlier, and this is a valid scenario that we are doing a login scenario for the new tools website. And in here, we can see that we have written the steps. So in here, we are already on the new tools page, and then we are printing the title of the new tools page. And then in the third step, we are entering the username and password. After that, we are clicking on the login button. We are going to the home page, and then from there, the user clicks on logout and the user close the browser. So now in here, so as seen earlier, we can either put in the username and password directly in the feature file, or we can use an examples keyword here, and then we can pass it to the script, the username and password. But there is a third approach that is called as a data table, and let us see how to do that. So for doing that, let us first identify which steps we need to parameterize. So this is the step which we need to parameterize. So we need to pass the username and password. So while using data table, what we have to do is just after this step, just give in the same format the username and password. So as when you are using examples keyword, we are specifying the username and password under the examples keyword. But here in this case, we are specifying the username and password just after these steps. So this data is only related to these steps and it will not apply to the whole scenario. Whereas in example keyword, the test data applies for all the scenario. So it is specific to this step in this case. Now moving to our step definition file. So when we'll go to the step definition file, so this is the method that we have defined for that line. And in here, it says that user enters the username and password, and we have found out the element and we are sending the actual username and password in here. So now what we need to do while using data table is, so just go in here and we will write data table as we want to fetch the data from the table that we have defined in our feature file. So once we do it, and we should just give it a name. So let us give as credentials. So data table, we need to, okay, so data table, I guess T is capital in here. And this needs to be imported. So it's need to be imported from the Cucumber API. So once that is done, so there is one additional step. So first of all, there is a method called as raw, which will fetch in the credentials from this data table. So what we have to write is, we'll write credentials dot raw. Okay, and as you can see, this raw is a list of string method. So this should be defined in such a way that list of string, and then we need to take this in some variable that let us see data equal to. Okay, so we have defined this and we need to import list as well from Java util package. So let us import it Yeah, so now we have imported, and now this raw method will help us to fetch the data from the data table, and it will be stored in this list. So it will be stored in data in the form of list. So now in order to, if we can go in here, so in here we are having only one row. So this is one row, and this is the first column, and this is the second column. So we need to take the username from the first row, first column. So in here, what we need to do is just go in here, remove this, and in here we have to send mm, data. So we are fetching it from the data variable dot get the zeroth index, and then dot get the column. So which column we want to take? The zeroth column. Okay, so in here it will fetch. Now what it will do is it will go to the zeroth row and the zeroth column, and it will find out what data is there, and it will be inserting that in here. Similarly, for doing password, now this is the zeroth row and this is the column 1. So we need to do a slight change in here. So we will replace this by data dot get from the zeroth row and get 1. So now it will fetch in the password. Okay, so now we are done up the changes in the step definition file as well. So we'll save it, and also in this file we have done it. Okay, and now let us run and see whether our scenario runs properly and whether data is fetched from the data table. So we are running the scenario, and the browser is launched. The site is fetched, and now we are entering the username and password. It has signed in and now signed off, and also it has closed the browser. So if you can see, the 7 steps have been executed properly and the scenario execution has passed. Also you can see the result in here. The scenario has passed and all the steps have been passed. And now in here there is a folder. This was not generated earlier, so now it is being generated. Now if you want to see the output, just see. So this can be viewed in particular browser also. So just go to properties, go, this is the path where it will be placed, the output. Just go in here and just double click. So it will give you the Cucumber output. So now in here you can see what username and password was passed to that particular step. So this method can be used for achieving data driven testing, but sometimes it is very difficult because right now we are having only one username and password. So when there are number of username and password that needs to be passed through this step, then we need to write some function which will do it. And it is there are some more steps that needs to be added in here. So apart from this there is no issue, but so over it I always prefer the examples, means the data driven approach with the example keyword. So this is the best method which for achieving data driven testing till now. So, but you can also use data table in some of the scenarios if needed, as shown. And you just have to create a particular data table, and then you have to fetch in the username and so the data using the rows and column method. So here using the raw method, we can access the data in the data table. So with this, we come to an end of this video in the series that was on how to achieve data-driven testing using the data tables. Hope you have liked it, and do post all your questions or the suggestions in the comment section below. So see you soon with more Cucumber related content, and till then have a great time. Good day.